Tell us about this one, Ed.
That's interesting. That's Pelican Lake on the Thunder Creek chain, and it shows there are 3 dams in there currently. That's Mallard Bay you're looking at. All of the land in the foreground and all of the land going out to the sides that includes the corners of the quarter section, because that runs northwest. We've purchased all of that land now. In the front of that you see the foreground that is mostly saline flat will all be flooded by a program that's going in at the Riverhurst irrigation. We have paid through the North American to expand the irrigation pumps and the size of the pipeline, and we'll be bringing water all the way down there by gravity for the most part this summer, Wilf.
Many of these projects are major technical accomplishments as well.
And that Thunder Creek drainage, I believe, is about a $9 million project. So it's not tiny. It takes a great deal of work.
We're definitely spending money for wildlife in this province.
Very much so.
Tell us about this one, Ed.
That shows you a bit of a sand drift in the bottom of that basin, and what you get when you don't have water. That land is of absolutely no value to anything. If we put water back onto it, it helps with the water table around there. It really brings the prairies alive again. The wildlife appears as if by magic. Waterfowl, white-tailed deer, all the songbirds. It just turns the prairies into an oasis.
I'll bet land that looks like this can't be much use to wildlife or agriculture.
Certainly.
Here's a nice shot, too.
That's the way we like our wetlands to look. Good vegetation, good weedy cover, and lots of water.
This is beautiful.
That isn't a particularly good waterfowl marsh because it looks like it's relatively deep water, but I'm sure at this end of it you'll find a shallower marsh where the ducks can really make a living.
Looks real good.
That's what happens when you get water on the prairie. You put down a little bit of water and a little bit of vegetation, and pretty soon you've got waterfowl.
Here's an interesting slide, too.
That's Patrick Duffy from the Dallas show, and Steve Keneally on the left. Our president, Wally Envik, is standing in the middle. These gentlemen have come up for the last 2 years to help us with our provincial fundraising suppers. Between the two of them and between those 2 suppers, we've raised over $110,000 in those 2 events that goes right back into that same job for habitat and for wildlife.
Now, how does the Wildlife Federation bring up major stars like this to attend the supper?
Those are outdoor-oriented people. We put on a free hunt for them. They come in and have a hunt for a couple of days on goose and a little bit of upland game, and it's part of their contribution to society, and they really do look on it that way.
So this is a free effort on their part.
Very much so.
And they come up to contribute to wildlife and wildlife projects.
Air Canada provides the transportation, the hotel provides the accommodations while they're here, and a guiding outfit somewhere in Saskatchewan will put the hunt on for them. This is one of the paintings, and that particular one is of mule deer, I believe. No, that was white-tailed deer by Dean Francis over in Mancota. An original painting provided free of charge to the Federation and used in our auction program.
Dean has provided a number of paintings, I understand, over the years.
He has every year that we've put on a supper. I just absolutely adore his paintings.
This one is very nice. What's happening here, Ed?
We've got a couple of guys there with a pole pounder, and they're driving a steel post into that marsh. Once that post is down to the right height, Wilf, there'll be a nest basket, just a metal cone filled with straw, go on top of that post. We drove 1,500 of those in the last 2 years, and it provides an absolutely safe nesting site for waterfowl, particularly mallards, where the predator can't get to them.
Those are some excellent slides, Ed. And now for some fishing conditions around the province.
Here's this week's fishing report. The Battlefords reports Jackfish, Murray, and Meeting Lake are all average fishing. Blackstrap fishing is average to good. At Buffalo Pond, it's good. Cypress Hills, just average. In Danielson and Douglas Parks, excellent fishing on Lake Diefenbaker for walleye and northern pike. Duck Mountain is good for walleye on Madge Lake. Echo Valley, fishing is good for walleye, pike, and perch in the Pasqua, Echo, Mission, and Katepwa lakes. At Lac La Ronge in the north, angling at Namibin Lake is good. Angling on Lac La Ronge is just average. Moose Mountain is average for perch at White Bear. Pike Lake, a few small jacks are being caught. At Rowan's Ravine, good walleye fishing. And Saskatchewan Landing reports good fishing for walleye and jack. The Crooked Lake Provincial Park reports average to good fishing for pike and pickerel on Crooked Lake. A 16-pound pike was taken at Round Lake, where the fishing is reported good for both pike and pickerel. At Greenwater Lake Provincial Park, good fishing for pike and pickerel on Greenwater Lake. The Makwa Provincial Park reports average fishing last week. Meadow Lake Provincial Park is good fishing. Up in the Nipawin Provincial Park area, Lower Fishing Lake reports good for pike. At Z-End, it's good fishing for splake, and at Shannon, good fishing on brown trout. The noteworthy catches this past week in Nipawin, a 15-pound pike was taken from the Lower Fishing Lake, a 6-pound splake at Z-End Lake, and an 8-pound 9-ounce brown trout out of Shannon. The Big River District, Cowan Lake reports good for pike. Delaronde is average for pike and for pickerel. At Hackett Lake, it's good for both pike and pickerel. At Chittick Lake District, Chittick Lake reports average on pickerel, but good at Big Shell for both the pike, pickerel, and rainbow trout. Nipawin District, the Saskatchewan River, Tobin and Coder report excellent conditions. At Wackowan District, Wackowan is good for both pike and pickerel. Montreal reports good fishing for pike. You can win a trip for 4 to Brabant Lake Lodge in beautiful northern Saskatchewan. All you have to do is send in a photo of any game fish you have caught in Saskatchewan waters. A draw will be made from all the entries, and the lucky winners will be heading up to Brabant Lake Lodge. There'll also be weekly prize giveaways for the largest walleye. So keep watching Saskatchewan Sportsman and send in those photos.
Just a reminder about our two contests, our two fishing contests on the Saskatchewan Sportsman. Our first is a trip to Brabant Lake Lodge. Send us a photo of any fish, your largest fish preferred, catch and release program promoted, and win a trip to Brabant Lake Lodge. Our second trip, our second promotion for the year, our weekly walleye giveaway. Send us a photo of your walleye. We'll show them on our program. Ed, it's been great having you on the program. Do you have any names, addresses, or information you want to leave with us? Where can we contact members of the local Wildlife Federation? Where can we contact you as Executive Director of the Federation?
Our office is in Moose Jaw. Telephone number is 692-8812. We're upstairs in the post office building. Come by for coffee if you're through. Nearly every branch in the province, or nearly every community in the province has a branch of the Federation. You can pick them up in the phone book, particularly in Regina here. They're not hard to find.
Thanks, Ed. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. I'm Wilf Pyle for Saskatchewan Sportsman. And until next time, straight shooting and tight lines.